while Jonas play your exercises. Brian, you're home early.
Good afternoon, CLC. This is DJ Brett of But Seriously. My show is on Thursdays, 5 to 6 p.m. typically. Today I have the SGA here for an impromptu interview. They're going to discuss a few pertinent issues to you and to themselves. But first, gentlemen, can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, how are you doing, Brett? My name is Blake Banovitz, and I am the current president of the Student Government Association.
Hi, my name is Ryan Stivers. I'm currently the vice president of the Student Government Association.
Welcome. How you guys doing today?
Full and... He's telling you got to talk closer to the mic. See this little button here? It goes up and down. That's how you know you're... We're close right now.
I'm not loud enough?
No. We're doing good. We just ate lunch at Sammy's, so you know.
Yeah, no, Sammy's didn't pay us for that advertisement either.
Alrighty then. As you can see, it's already going to be a pretty informal session with us, so hopefully it'll be fun and informative. First, we have to discuss a disclaimer for you gentlemen to agree with. Are you cool with recording this?
Yes.
Okay, just so you know, we have a right to the copy of it, and we also have every other right basically to play it, distribute it, however CLC manager and radio sees fit.
But according to Dan, I can use it for my benefit too. So
you can play it at your Halloween party if you wish to.
All right.
Alrighty.
You gotta say yes.
We're good to go.
You gotta say yes.
Huh?
You have to say yes too.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Okay, so last year I interviewed these gentlemen before they were elected. So I wanted to know, just recap a little bit for us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves, each a couple of minutes, or whatever you want to?
Okay, I guess I can. I am, obviously, as I said earlier, Ryan Stivers. I'm the current VP. Last year, I ran for the Student Government Vice President after spending the year as a senator here, and I won the Senator of the Year award last year. Our current president, Blake Banovitz, actually also was a senator last year, but clearly not good enough to win the Senator of the Year award.
Is this SpongeBob with
clearly not good
Employee
enough,
of the Month
somebody
award?
somebody won president at least, so you know we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Anyways, I am a student here. I've been a student here since the spring of 2010, and I'm looking forward to basically doing what I can to help out here and continue onward. So here's Blake.
Yeah, as said before, I'm the president of the student government this year, 2011 through 2012. Thank you. And I was a senator for a year and a half. Well, a year and a couple weeks. I became a senator my second freshman year. This is my third year in school. I do love CLC. It's definitely changed my life, and I think Ryan and I both agree that we're here to hopefully change the view of students have towards the school and, you know, help out as much as we can.
Okay, that sounds great. Just a little aside, where did you guys meet, and can you give us a little background on why you chose to work together?
I don't know if we chose. No. We met in an English class. Can I say her name?
Yeah.
I think so. What is it, Tamara? Oh, we're getting told how to do a mic. Okay. We met in English class, Tamara Wolf, which was, what English was that? That was 122, detective fiction. Awesome teacher, by the way. Take her. And we just kind of went from there. He became a senator, and it just so happens all of a sudden that we kind of, the last couple weeks, we both just decided that he was going to run for vice president and I was going to run for president.
So this wasn't just illusions of grandeur, but you actually accomplished something, it sounds like. Okay, so give us an idea, when was the election? Because I know it was last year, but I have no idea when that was. And maybe people forgot as well.
Well, our election was last year in April. We had actually a whole week of voting, and I'm sure people who were here last year probably saw Blake and I running around with wearing Blackhawks jerseys, throwing candy at people, and basically trying to, in general, advertise for why they should vote for us. And to touch briefly on what you just asked before, I think that when we kind of saw the pool of candidates that were running last semester, I wasn't originally going to run for vice president, but I was concerned based on the fact that there was several people running for positions in student government that had no previous experience in student government or in leadership roles. So I kind of talked with Blake, and we kind of made an agreement that we both wanted to make sure we had something to basically make it so that everyone could kind of participate. And it was the second time, to answer Dan's written question to us, it was the second time that online elections were done. And actually, we had an amazing turnout. We had 872 votes. To give you an idea, in our first online election, we had about 232 votes.
That's pretty interesting.
It was not only that, it was 872 votes, and 60% went towards myself. Wasn't it 60-something percent went towards me? There's a couple other people running for president. I mean, it definitely was a last week thing of Ryan and I discussing, taking a look at the candidates who's running, and we put our hat in the very last kind of minute, literally, in 11th hour, and decided that we can do a better job.
Okay, that answers the question pretty good, but I was wondering what date was the election, when did your term start, and when does it officially end? And did you have something like the president in the U.S. where there's like a layover process?
I believe that. I'm pretty sure that I didn't get the keys to the office up until after the student banquet and after the year finished, right? Can you answer that better than I could? Hopefully.
The Constitution of the student government of the CLC states that you are to serve your term as an executive officer from the day of graduation to the day of graduation. So May 18th, I believe, of last year is when we... Yes, midnight after we received our keys, and up until that point we were elected, though the decision was made like the first week of April. So we had a month of layover where we knew what we were going to be, and we got to kind of talk with the former executives about stuff.
I'm gonna real quick throw in something too. Speaking of Constitution, I know you're probably gonna ask what we've done and stuff like this, but one of the things we have done is kind of vamp our Constitution. It wasn't drastic or anything, but we've had a couple senators draft a Constitution. It's been approved already, and we ratified it until it was a little outdated, and we know. So I mean, it's a little progressive going on.
That's good because that answers quite a bit of it, but what made you feel you were more qualified than the ones you felt were not so qualified?
It's probably not a good question.
You can be as...
no, I guess, exactly what Ryan said before. That, necessarily the leadership roles, the quality we saw, it was the people that we saw. I think every candidate that was going against myself probably could have done the job. I believe they would have done it well, and to what they believe as well. I just believe that when Ryan and I were going around, we were more in touch with students. We were down to earth, we were relaxed, and yet we knew what we wanted to get accomplished and what we're going to be trying to accomplish. And we're not going to. Ryan and I aren't going to tell you that we knew exactly what was going to happen or what was expected of us. We just felt like we were better for the job, basically, and that's why we ran. It's why we ran, and I believe it's probably why we won.
That sounds good too, but my specific question was more referring to, did you have past experience in any kind of government, so you knew that not only were you enthusiastic, but were you able to base your experience if someone asked you on what you've done previously?
When it comes to a political stance, no. I'm still young and stuff. I've always loved politics, and I've loved being a leader. I was in student council in high school. Then again, it's high school, so we planned homecoming, but I still had to become elected and stuff like that. I've always been in kind of some managerial jobs, leadership jobs, in all of my past jobs I've had, including now. So, no, I guess I have to say this is definitely a first president title I can give myself.
For me personally, I've been in leadership positions my whole life, so it was kind of natural for me. I think that the team of Blake and I was a natural pick because Blake is more of a visionary and I am more of a brass tacks, get down and get stuff done. And I think the reason why kind of we were put in that position and why we feel like we had the best experience was because with my combined leadership and his visions that we could kind of really make something productive here with student government.
That sounds good. This is kind of a large open-end question, so let's try to narrow it down, but Do you think a leader is born, or do you think you're basically what maybe your parents or somebody else that you knew growing up inspired you to start at such an early age, and then that led to this situation?
Well, I think you can. I know the moment that I got involved in politics. It was in second grade. I ran for class representative of my second grade class, and I lost. And I decided from that point on that I was tired of losing. So I don't think that you can. Yeah, I know.
Second grader, all right.
Yeah, one of the things that that I definitely I want to take from your question is, what is a good leader? What makes a good leader, and can you improve? And I definitely think you can improve as a leader. I think that Blake is the prime example of a kind of person who may not have had a lot of leadership experience coming in, but has learned quite a lot in a very short period of time and is only getting better.
And I mean, I'm gonna have to say the exact same thing. I mean, you definitely can improve. I think anybody obviously can improve when it comes to any role. But you just kind of said one thing that I've always felt was maybe not a second grade or something, but I've always felt like I've wanted to be a leader. Every job I've ever had, everything when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be in politics. I've always wanted to be a leader. Now, does that say I was born with it? Who knows? I mean, it's hard to tell. I've got a lot of my family members are leaders. They're that leader kind of ship kind of style. So I think I definitely take both of those when I believe maybe yes I was born with it, but I definitely have to have it. Have had a lot of help. I think everybody does.
Well,
But I mean, it is a little bit natural, I believe. I mean, I would say Ryan, you're pretty natural at it, and I mean, I'm pretty natural at it. Just has to be fine-tuned.
I think you said a really key thing is that we all have natural skills, and we got to kind of find out what those skills are, and hone them. And then even on a personal level, we try to grow on a daily basis, hopefully, or at least throughout the years. So to get to the next question, what was your campaign strategy other than throwing candy at the students?
Well, listen, I mean, can't say like other because that was a great idea, I believe, and it wasn't just we were giving candy out. My campaign strategy was to be seen, to get my name out there, and to get my face out there, and to just get. I mean, Ryan and I walked around for at least 10 hours every day at school. I was here early in the morning. We did kind of wear the Hawks jerseys. I had three or four different flyers that I had up around the school. They were fun flyers. It wasn't. I mean, it's not that I guess you would definitely say, and I mean, Ryan is definitely the more serious one. I'm definitely a more fun one. But I mean, it's clearly evident. I knew what the students would probably like more, and that's obviously somebody who's a little more down to earth and fun. And so did Ryan. We had a great time that week. Our strategy was to get out, see as many people as we can. We did have laptops going around. I did have a team that helped me out. My candy bags it wasn't just candy. It was an actual candy bag wrapped up with a little, basically. How to vote business card with my picture and how to vote on it. So that way people can almost know it directly. And also too, I mean, when we would go up to people, no one really just said, sure, I'll vote. It was definitely, well, why should I vote? And we didn't force anybody. We gave them our spiel. And in fact, I think what really gets me going is when I hear today that some people goes, oh, I voted for you. And then they go, you're the only person I even saw. Or you're the only face I knew. You're the only really name I heard.
Yeah,
so.
that's a problem in typical politics today. I mean, obviously, it's, some of that stuff we don't need to talk about now. Maybe some other time with Ryan's rant or some other thing like that.
That sounds like a great radio station. Ryan's rant!
I'm trying to convince Ryan to do something like a daily show thing, because I do my shows but seriously, and I like to talk about serious and not so serious stuff, play a little bit of music.
Oh, shit.
So
watch your
so
language,
if he's willing, I'll bounce off a few questions off him, and we'll try to do a little deadpan style and do some things like that.
I'm sure
but
if this happens, you're gonna have Ryan and I both getting very ranted. I mean, it's gonna happen.
That's for another day. Okay. So what was
regulars.
what was your platform? Because that kind of leads into that other thing of when you said why should you vote? Why is it important for someone to vote?
Go ahead and take that, Ryan.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, we kind of joked about what our platform was going to be because you kind of have to have. That's actually what Bano just shouted was save the lake, which is we had this idea, this joke that we were going to campaign on this idea of saving the lake because if people thought the lake was threatened, they'd vote for you because you're saying to save the lake.
Save the lake, vote for Blake.
Yeah, save the lake.
That's a really good
But
bingo.
you know, that was a joke that we had, but we actually spent a lot of time thinking about it. And one of the things that the previous administration had done is they had kind of set a expectation for the election that you should have kind of these traits that you wanted to do. And if I remember correctly, one of the biggest things that we campaigned on was image. Obviously, here on campus, student government, a lot of people last year, first of all, didn't know we exist. Second of all, didn't think that we really did anything productive. And I mean, as you can see from the start of this year, with our free coffee and tea day, with our barbecue that we're doing, the fact that we have an article in the Chronicle now, like, we're kind of going crazy with trying to get our name out there and get people to know that we exist and that we're there for them.
It's not even just that, too. It's the fact that all these other events that are going on, like the C4 event for Phi Theta Kappa and a Midterm Madness and all these other events, we actually have a table at now that we have, we have almost a rolling billboard, we call it, that we roll up against us. And we're going to be getting T-shirts. We're going to be doing these things to get our name out there. And that was probably, I got to say, when you're going to talk about a platform, there was definitely 2 or 3 things, and I will go ahead and say it, smoking was one of them, that we were a big issue. It's going to be a big issue in the school.
One of the ways that we got votes, and it just shows how important this issue was, is that we went around saying that we were not for the current proposed smoking proposal. We don't think it's fair to smokers. We thought it, you know, we don't, none of us smoke, neither of us smoke, and at the time no one in SGA smoked, but we wanted to protect the rights of the students, and we felt like the smokers were being treated like second-class citizens. So we were very clear that if we were elected that we were going to look into that heavily, and we have kept that promise, and in fact that smoking proposal is no longer going to be passed. It is now being revised to be a bit more friendly. I mean, I'm sure CLC will still eventually go smoke-free, but one of our goals is to try to kind of make it more respectable to smokers as best we can.
And that was one of your issues, and again, this is maybe for another time, but see, that's the thing with that is part of the reason it wants to be banned is because people abuse that privilege, but they also banning it entirely might be kind of tough to do.
I would say it's for a definite another time. I'd love to get through these questions too, but just to hit on that, I mean, it's definitely been abused, and I think most smokers would probably agree. I mean, there is a 15 feet law in Illinois, and it's not followed as much. But I mean, the best thing I think Ryan and I got is we'd go out there, we'd say, hey, you know, I'm the president of you guys here. We're trying not to get them to ban smoking. Please get 15 feet away, and almost everybody complies.
Correct.
So,
well,
I've been saying that too. I said they're looking to ban smoking here, but if you can manage to stay away further.
Yeah.
Well, there's things about people throwing the butts on the ground. They're not properly disposing of them, and you know.
There's a lot of different issues there with that, and I mean, I think I mean, we're going to be doing a smoking forum next semester at some point. One of the things the student government is working on is a counter proposal to this, so you'll definitely be hearing more from us about this as time goes on. But yeah, I wouldn't want to dwell on that right now, so we should probably go on.
That could probably take a whole entire show.
Yeah, we can cover some of that in Ryan's rant when he does that, and some other stuff. But anyway, you mentioned how many people voted. What was the percentage, and what percentage were you trying to obtain? Because you did improve.
Yeah, I think the goal is that you want 100% participation, but the reality of that in both national and global politics is that just doesn't happen. I mean, if I remember correctly, we usually get about 70 to 85 million voters, and there's over 360 million people in America. So that's not 3%. That's really bad math. 85. There's about 85 million voters out of 360. So you know,
it's about 30%.
30%. Yeah. Now, for our election, we got 10%, roughly, a little bit less, because there's 18,000 students here, so we only got 800 votes. But we did all right, and we'd like to see a lot more.
Well, that's a pretty good percentage because you said the initial online vote was 200 something, and
Correct.
You quadrupled it. So I don't know what percentage that is, but that's not bad.
Yeah, we had a great turnout, but of course you always want better. I think the reality is that there's just only so much you can do to get it out there. I mean, I don't even think it was on the main page of the CLC this year where it was last year. So also the method of voting is not exactly easy. There's no absentee voting. There's just a lot of, it's just not taken very seriously. We're hoping that it'll be taken a little bit more seriously as time goes on, but that's definitely one of our concerns.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that'll come up come April next time. That's going to be one of our goals. I mean, one of our goals was to obviously make the election bigger. I mean, it's not what we're focused on right now, but after going through it last year, there's a lot of things that I see that probably could be done. I know last year they did a barbecue and they had all of us on table with our own tables and students coming over and they were allowed to vote at our tables and stuff online. So, um, I feel. It could be better, but I am very proud of what happened last year. I mean, 800 and something kids, that's awesome.
I think so too. Without incriminating yourself, what did you do to
How many
celebrate?
votes you vote for yourself? No. What was that?
Without incriminating yourself, what did you do to celebrate once you found out you were
Actually,
winning?
it was classic because I got the person who was second in line for sure kind of figured it out a little before me, and she it was a total like she called me. They called me up and said, they were kind of out of the race, and we kind of just celebrated. What did we do? And actually, I just gotta say, it was school appropriate. Don't worry, it wasn't. We kind of just, we smiled. It was a big smile, big relief, a lot of weight off my shoulders. It was very worrisome.
I think it was, there was... no, it was... That's not what happened. But... That's one of the things that I think we did was we kind of took a moment and realized, oh, well, now we have to do a lot of work. So,
it was definitely a couple days of now we have to do the work, which I think that happens probably most all of the time to people.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I think we always kind of felt like we had a really good shot. I mean, I don't think you run for politics if you don't think you're going to win. I mean, I think that you always think you're going to win, but I think that we kind of had a better grasp of it. I mean, I ran unopposed, so I was for sure getting vice president. It was just a matter of if we could get Blake president or not.
There was what?
There was three other people, so it was a four-person race.
Okay. That's good information. Obviously, I can tell from seeing you guys around campus and having you in here for a few minutes, you guys like working together. But the next question then would be, how do you resolve communication challenges and bouts of ego?
Ryan Stivers is now laughing uncontrollably. Bouts of ego towards each other. Well, actually, I'm going to head off on what Ryan said before on how we work well with each other and how this is a total politician answer, isn't it? And how, I mean, we've actually became really close friends within this time, and I don't know if maybe it was inevitable or what, but he's definitely how do we do this? We're going to do this. This is how you do it. We're going to think of right now. We were asked what our goals was from our advisor, and mine was all about this futuristic plans and how I want the SGA to grow and how I want people to know what the SGA and the SGA actually does things. And Ryan was kind of like, I want to make the SGA a totally functional running machine and hand it off to the next people. So I'm more of that people person, and he's more of that. What would you say? So I don't make an of that. I'm definitely more of a people person. I love to go out, and he is too. But he's more of. I mean, people definitely look at him, and he's very stern on what he does. And if I become that, people, I'm the friendly person, and he's the one that says you better listen to.
Okay, well, I mean,
And that's nicely.
and not to say too much, I was just more like referring to whenever you see somebody a lot, or you live with somebody, there is inevitably something that comes up.
I tell you what's funny though, and this is going to be the truth. This is going to be all summer long. We were here about what, 2 or 3 times? That's how dedicated we were. We were here all summer long in our office, getting ready, planning stuff out, getting our goals, getting binders for senators, doing things that we think would need to be done. And we spent quite a bit of time with each other. Now we work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after. Yeah, that's right. We work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have a class together. We have office hours together. We see each other quite a lot, and we can have some fun on the weekends here and there. And I don't think it's become a problem just because, we are, I'm the right hand to his left, and he's the left to my right. So, we're the same person, I guess.
Ryan's got a Cheshire grin on
Typical answer,
his face, so we'll see where this heads.
I'm not as good at Blake about, well, I shouldn't say I'm not as good. I can be a good wordsmith, but I choose to be a lot more blunt about things.
He just said he's an ass.
So what I will say is that I think it's unfair of us to kind of pretend like we don't have arguments. Everyone has arguments. Everyone has fights. We see each other a lot. In fact, I probably see Blake more than Blake sees his girlfriend, which is a lot of time. We both work here. We both do probably more than 12 to 20 hours a week that we're at school doing student government stuff. I mean, it is a job for us. And when you add that with all the other stuff that's going on, yeah, there's going to be tiffs, yeah, there's disagreements. Oftentimes those disagreements come on really important issues. Like Blake is a very visionary person. He has really big goals, and I'm the kind of person that has to keep him, grounded and say, hey, no, we can't do this. And that's, sometimes where we'll have our arguments. And sometimes, I'm being too restricting, and sometimes he's just got too big of goals. And I think one of the things that you have to do in any relationship with a business relationship, professional or personal, is kind of understand where people's boundaries are. Blake knows that there's a certain line not to cross with me, and I know that I have to make sure that he's basically being able to kind of feel like his ideas are being facilitated. And what he touched on with, the kind of bad and good is true. I mean, I'm definitely the person in student government that people know that you don't screw around. If I give you a deadline, you're expected to do that deadline. It's kind of like, dad and mom, so to speak. I'm not going to say who's who, so to speak, but it's more like, I'm the person that people kind of don't want to necessarily go to talk to. That's Blake. And, if something needs to get done, if something needs to get done right, that's kind of what I do.
I mean, and obviously, that we kind of said that's part of the learning process with each other and becoming good friends. But we became great friends in a very short period of time. And I believe that our senators will say this too. I mean, they look at us. They'll still, if I say give them a deadline, and they look at me and they know when it's serious. Because if I sit there and say something or I'm freaking out about something, they know, oops. I mean, because most of the time I am the relaxed one. But I think that's what works for us well. What was that one test I gave us?
The cha type thing.
Yeah, that's I literally kind of look at it just like that. The yin to the yang. I mean, it really is. We're what most people would want your boss to be. Both of us, a perfect person would probably be both of us combined with both that kind of attitude of getting stuff done, but yet you're so friendly person. But instead, we're split up, and that's how we work, and it works great, really does.
And I think more importantly, we both respect each other's domains. Like, we both respect the roles that we have within student government. He is the president, and what the president says goes, and I understand that. And I think for a lot of people, they see my personality, and they have a hard time understanding, like, why I would, not have gone for president myself. But the reality is that Blake is someone I have absolute faith in. And when you have absolute faith in someone's skill and ability, then you can really very easily take a second step to them. I think people maybe don't get to see certain aspects of Blake's personality, and they don't get to see certain aspects of my personality either. And I mean, just like what he said, we complement each other very well, and I think we have a really strong, good working relationship. And I can tell you that that we have no issues talking about very personal things, and I think that's really important when you work with someone and spend as much time as we do together. But you also still have to understand, Blake and I both have these moments where it's kind of like you look at each other and you're like, okay, this has got to get done. We got to do this.
Well, yeah. When you mention like stuff like, again, we only have a few more minutes together, and I only have a couple more questions. But anyway, that's kind of this, and this isn't really a counseling session, but that's good if you recognize like things you need to work on, like anger or walking away from each other, or pausing before you send an email, things like that. But what are your plans, and would you, I guess, plan on working together to take this to the next step?
What are you talking,
else?
White House here?
Here's
the thing.
We're not talking
Ryan
about the
can't
omen
run in
like
politics. I could run in politics and probably get away with it, but Ryan, he'd have to be my chief of staff. He's a great chief of staff. In fact, that's kind of what he is right now, except for he's kind of a better role than that, because he is outside and he is, people see him and know who he is and they love him, but the future's the future, and I took a test a little bit ago, and I'm very futuristic minded, as we've been saying this whole time, and who knows? I've always wanted to be the president, and he knows I'd probably go to him for something, for a lot of things probably.
Well, you're going to be middle-aged, white, and about 50 years old at some point. So we'll get to that when you reach that level.
Listen, we could have the youngest one right here.
I think you have to be, 40? 35. That's pretty amazing. How old was Kennedy? I don't remember.
42, 43, something like that. Yeah, and Obama's, just turned... He's the second youngest, isn't he? Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, y'all don't look too gray yet, but I've noticed that with every president, they turn gray.
I tell you what, I have been getting
I
think we're both getting wow, you guys, you look a little tired out looking. That's true.
So
Trying to say I look like crap.
So basically, to wrap this up, then that brings up the last question that I had was, what is your support system like with the people and the staff that you report to succeed in your role as students? And basically, what have you not achieved, and how do they help you achieve those goals?
Actually, this is one thing that's a really good question. I think it's really important to answer because I think we have probably at this school some of the best staff and faculty that you could possibly ever want for with regards to student government. I mean, Blake and I sit on and are part of a lot of things that most students are not a part of, and I don't think I've ever felt like I was treated like I was a student per se, as much as I was treated like I was an equal who represented. I feel like we are treated as if we are the vice president and president of student government, that they do understand the gravity of the position and the fact that we represent the interests of 18,000 students. And because of that, and we have a great support network. Our advisor's awesome, all the way up. I mean, from Cindy to Felicia to Darl, and even to Dr. Weber, who comes into student government and makes himself available to us out of his very busy schedule. I mean, I really have no complaints. I mean, I feel like we get an awesome support system.
Yeah, and that's actually something that Dan Prowse brought up with the president, and maybe we can finish with one of these, and then we'll wrap it up. You guys got to go to class. Is what did you think about your perception of a laid-back president that would actually come in and address the students on a regular basis and talk like a normal regular person? Or do you get that impression from him?
Oh, definitely. I kind of think it's funny. I look at Vice President David Agazy and President Jerry Weber, and definitely and kind of look closely to our relationship with Ryan and I have as president and vice president, and I love it, the fact that he's able to walk through the halls. My first memory of ever really having that feeling with Dr. Weber was when, at one point last year, they had this chess club, and I look out, and in the main lobby, jungle for those of you who know that, there was Dr. Weber with his sleeves rolled up playing chess with just some people just right there playing chess for a good half hour, 20 minutes, and I really thought that was the first thing that really impressed me a lot. The fact that he was able to just take time out of his day, sit along the main lobby with the main students and play some chess. I mean, 3 hours was it? Oh, holy! See, I was only there for a little bit. He played for 3. That just proves okay. So he played for 3 hours, and that was my first memory of seeing that. And the more I've known him, he is really laid back. He does love the students. He cares about the students. He's got great issues when it comes to sustainability and where he wants his college to be. The master plan's going on right now. For those of you, I'm going to go ahead and pitch it. Please take the survey. It's in the last couple days, a week or so left. It's on my CLC master survey, please. Their relationship, I think, is very well. I mean, for what we see, but I think that's what you would want a president to be.
Well, what was impressive to me, and actually part of what I did for class.
Can we do the plans one too?
Yeah, and then we'll wrap up with your plans. But I didn't know that he had actually founded Menovision, and I didn't know anything about Menovision. And there was a great event today that they, held with some younger students and talking about retention and getting kids prepared, to have dreams and things like that. And I consider myself a man of vision, and I don't know exactly what that vision is, but I just think if it's great that I'm like everybody can work on what they think their vision might be, and for him to, set up something like that shows that he's a regular guy to me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
so what do you think? In a couple minutes, since that's all we have, is what are your plans?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of events coming up. Just to plug a few real quick, on October 31st from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we'll be having a free barbecue in the atrium where you can meet us as well as all of our senators. Your senators, I guess, would be the correct way to say it. Also, we're doing a couple community service projects. November 4th. November 5th, my bad. November 5th, Saturday, we're doing a community service project here at the campus called Project Green. So if you're involved in a club or organization or you just want to get involved with that, I encourage you to contact me at the CLC Student Activities Office. We're
Would you
also
like to read your contact information when you finish?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
One of the other things that we're hoping to do is we're doing another coffee and tea day. We just had one on Monday. We gave away over 300 cups of coffee and hot chocolate and tea, and we had actually gave away donuts and granola bars, and it was a really good opportunity and really great way. We wanted to kind of do something during midterms, and we'll also be doing it during finals, where basically we have this opportunity to give students kind of something that I think they deserve. I think every student deserves a little bit of a break.
And on some more of our plans that we plan to do, we plan on having a sustainability forum that's going to be next spring. We do plan on having another, basically we're calling it Get to Know You Days, is what that October 31st is. It's where you as a student can come get to know your senator. We're doing that, I believe, one of the first or 2 weeks of the spring semester coming up. We'll be doing more coffee and tea days at nighttime to get those nighttime students and daytime next semester. We also are having a smoking forum that we'll be having pretty soon here. We'll be coming up with anything else. I'm sure we'll come up with a couple more events. But basically, as you can see, all of our plans involve getting in touch and getting a name out there and letting the students know that they can come to us. We do hold office hours. We do have an office. It's a very inviting office, I believe, very decorative. And we do walk around a lot, and all of our plans consist of, we want every student here, as much as we possible, to know that there's somebody here that will support your voice and be your voice to the college and to every executive board here and every board and every committee here. That was our goal. We are the college's voice to the students, so if what the college says or what's going on, we'll tell the students, and we're the students' voice in the college. And it's a very important role, and I think a lot of students, when they hear about that, realize how important this role I think Ryan and I and all of your senators play. And we're trying to increase that, get some more knowledge out that. We just finally finished up with we have now 14 senators. We have one more spot left if anybody would like to be it. Let's get it in the student activities wing, and I think that's basically it. We want to
quickly
support.
With your contact information, and then I'll thank you for your time so you can get to class.
You can contact me, Ryan Stivers, Vice President of Student Government, through my email, which is rstivers, Stivers, or you can contact me through my office phone, which is 543-2295, area code 847-94. I'm sorry, 95 is El Presidente, so...
And also, my name is Blake Banovitz, President of the Student Government. You can contact me at my full name, which is Blake, B-L-A-K-E, Banovitz, B as in boy, A-N-O, V as in Victor, I-T-Z, at stu.clcillinois.edu, which hopefully you all remember that by now. And also, my phone number is 847-543-2295. But please, also, biggest way to contact us is come into this C-Wing here entrance at C00, what is this, or C101 Student Activities offices, and that's where we are, and ask for us.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time, and I think we had a informative and fun session. And don't forget, if you'd like to tune in to But Seriously, I'll be on tomorrow, God willing, 5 to 6 p.m. for fun and serious stuff.
One question for Rage Ryan.
Oh, Ryan's Rant is what I called it. We can do that in the next couple of weeks or so, but I think that'd be that would be fun. We'd just kind of wing it or whatever you like to do. Are you interested in something like that, Ryan?
I would probably be interested in doing something like that.
Let's put an edit cut.
Well, yeah, this one might have to be beeped a little bit, but...
No, it's not part of that. Not really part of the interview. It's now talking about his show.
Oh, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're wrapping up our show. That was just reminding
Basically, what we're trying to talk about right now is if Ryan should, we're basically trying to connive him our way in here. And every single one, I'd probably pop in and ask him some questions, and I'm sure Brett would ask him some questions, and all hell would be raised. I have volunteered my vice president to do this. I, Blake Banovitz, president of the Student Government Association, volunteering, forcing. Can we have a vote? Can we have a senator maybe pop this up? This is going to happen. Here's what's going to happen, everybody out there. We're going to have a proposal to amend the student government new constitution to have one of the rights and responsibilities of the vice president. This is good. You guys getting this? To getting the vice president to conduct a once-a-week show from, an hour or so.
Well, Well,
And
we'll see
that's
that
happening. I am
well,
doing that.
well,
I mean, no, one of our senators is
Let's
going
get
to
a
do
little
that.
crazy because this is details to come, but don't get delusions of grandeur. But I would love to have
Once
you on
again,
the show.
it's going to happen.
We'll
Thanks,
figure
guys.
out what we're going to do and how it's going to work. But again, thank you, gentlemen. Have a great class.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for listening. And we're out.